Zoning and Building Codes Practice Test. Question 1. A practice question describes the federal law prohibiting housing discrimination based on race, color, religion, sex, national origin, familial status, and disability. Which response is best? Option A, abstract of title. Option B, Fair Housing Act. Option C, reasonable modification. Option D, general warranty deed. The correct answer is option B, Fair Housing Act. Limited statutory exemptions do not permit discriminatory advertising. The protections apply to covered sales, rentals, advertising, and related services. Licensees must provide equal professional service and avoid steering or discriminatory statements. Question 2. During an offer review, which principle is illustrated by personal permission to enter or use land that does not create an ownership interest? Option A, taxation. Option B, easement by prescription. Option C, license. Option D, conditional use. The correct answer is option C, license. Tickets and temporary access permissions are common examples. Unlike an easement, this privilege usually cannot be transferred as a permanent property right. The permission is generally revocable and does not run with the land. Question 3. Which answer states the concept associated with a court proceeding used to resolve competing claims and establish ownership rights? Option A, antitrust law. Option B, environmental site assessment. Option C, reasonable accommodation. Option D, quiet title action. The correct answer is option D, quiet title action. The procedure is different from title insurance, which shifts covered financial risk. Interested parties must receive proper notice and an opportunity to be heard. The judgment can remove invalid claims and clarify the state of title. Stressed about your real estate? We can take real estate for you remotely and undetected. We always guarantee a pass and payments only after results. To send us an email, scan the code or tap the link in the description and let's get it done. Question 4. A buyer handling a retail suite in Ocean City must identify permission to depart from a zoning requirement because strict application creates a qualifying hardship. Which choice is correct? Option A, variance. Option B, taxation. Option C, easement by necessity. Option D, general lien. The correct answer is option A, variance. The relief addresses a property minus specific difficulty rather than changing the district rules for everyone. The applicant must satisfy the standards established by local law. The zoning relief should not be confused with a use permitted automatically by the zoning classification. Question 5. During a title examination for a historic residence in Colombia, Rena needs to identify the rule described as placing an eligible document in the public land records to give constructive notice. Which answer applies? Option A, antitrust law. Option B, recording. Option C, constructive notice. Option D, material defect disclosure. The correct answer is option B, recording. A valid deed may transfer rights between the parties before the public filing, depending on state law. The public filing establishes a public chain of title and can affect priority among competing interests. Failure to record can expose the grantee to later claims. Question 6. A appraiser is reviewing a mixed-use property in Towson. Which term describes a use right that benefits one parcel and burdens another parcel? Option A, a zoning ordinance. Option B, subdivision regulation. Option C, easement appurtenant. Option D, building code. The correct answer is option C, easement appurtenant. The benefited and burdened parcels are commonly described as dominant and servient estates. It is tied to parcel ownership rather than to a particular individual. The right ordinarily transfers with the land even when it is not mentioned in every later deed. Question 7. At an inspection period, a Michigan exam candidate encounters the following description: a statutory claim protecting persons who provide qualifying labor or materials to improve real property. Which concept is being tested? Option A, building code. Option B, police power. Option C, lease pendens. Option D, mechanics lien. The correct answer is option D, mechanics lien. Payment disputes should be resolved before the claim matures into enforcement. The claimant must comply with notice, filing, and timing requirements. The lien attaches to the improved property and can affect sale or refinancing. Question 8. Kara is assisting with a small apartment building transaction in Bowie. Which principle applies when the facts involve coordinated refusal by competitors to deal with a person or business? Option A, group boycott. Option B, market allocation. Option C, antitrust law. Option D. Americans with Disabilities Act. The correct answer is option A. Group boycott. Brokerages must make independent decisions about vendors and cooperation. Collective punishment for discounting or innovation creates substantial antitrust exposure. The conduct can unlawfully pressure the target and restrict market access.
Are you looking for ATIT's actual questions? Visit our website pokerexams.com to access ATIT study guide with actual questions and answers. Scan the QR code or click the link in the description to get ATIT's answer key today.
Question 9. Which answer most accurately identifies a summarized history of recorded documents affecting a parcel in a real estate transaction? Option A. Recording. Option B. Abstract of title. Option C. Actual notice. Option D. Cloud on title. The correct answer is option B. Abstract of title. It is not itself an insurance policy against undiscovered defects. An attorney or title professional examines the information to evaluate marketability. The document identifies conveyances, liens, and other recorded matters in the chain of title. Question 10. A question arising during settlement preparation concerns a use right benefiting a person or organization rather than another parcel. Which choice gives the best classification? Option A. Taxation. Option B. Eminent domain. Option C. Easement in gross. Option D. Conditional use. The correct answer is option C. Easement in gross. Utility companies frequently hold this type of right for lines and equipment. The interest may be transferable depending on its nature and governing law. No dominant parcel is required because the benefit is personal or commercial. Question 11. While analyzing a cooperative unit, Daria must apply the concept involving a naturally occurring radioactive gas that can accumulate in buildings. Which answer should be selected? Option A. Megan's Law Notice. Option B. Recording. Option C. Title insurance. Option D. Radon. The correct answer is option D. Radon. Long-term exposure can create serious health risk. The gas is colorless and odorless, so testing is necessary to determine concentration. Mitigation systems can reduce levels when elevated readings are found. Question 12. Which real estate term is defined by a local law dividing land into districts and regulating permitted uses and development standards? Option A. A zoning ordinance. Option B. Easement in gross. Option C. The specific lien. Option D. Easement appurtenant. The correct answer is option A. Zoning ordinance. The regulation may control use, height, setbacks, density, and similar development features. Private deed restrictions can impose additional limits beyond zoning. A property owner must comply unless a lawful exception or relief applies. Question 13. In a transaction involving a warehouse, which rule controls when there is denying or limiting lending or related services in geographic areas associated with protected groups? Option A. Cloud on title. Option B. Redlining. Option C. Title insurance. Option D. Special warranty deed. The correct answer is option B. Redlining. Mapping or coding practices can create evidence of discriminatory treatment. The practice concerns unequal access to credit and financial services. Underwriting decisions must rely on legitimate risk factors rather than neighborhood demographics. Question 14. A salesperson asks about transfer of property to the state when an owner dies without a valid will and without legal heirs. Which answer provides the legally accurate concept? Option A. A certificate of occupancy. Option B. License. Option C. Escheat. Option D. Subdivision regulation. The correct answer is option C. Escheat. It applies only after the succession process finds no person entitled to inherit. It is different from a tax foreclosure or a voluntary conveyance. The doctrine prevents property from remaining permanently ownerless. Question 15. Jonah encounters a fibrous material formerly used in insulation, fireproofing, and building products during a lease negotiation. Which principle should guide the analysis? Option A. Abstract of title. Option B. Reasonable accommodation. Option C. Lead-based paint disclosure. Option D. Asbestos. The correct answer is option D. Asbestos. Its presence does not automatically require removal if it is intact and safely managed. Proper inspection and removal require qualified professionals. The material is most hazardous when disturbed fibers become airborne. Question 16. Which choice best matches the description official authorization that a completed structure or space may be occupied for an approved use? Option A. A certificate of occupancy. Option B. General lien. Option C, easement in gross. Option D, a zoning ordinance. The correct answer is option A, certificate of occupancy. The document generally follows required inspections and confirmation of code compliance. Occupancy before issuance can violate local requirements. A change in use may require a new approval even without major construction. Question 17. During review of an office building in Novi, the parties discuss a deed containing broad covenants protecting the grantee against title claims arising before and during the grantor's ownership. Which term applies? Option A, reasonable modification. Option B, general warranty deed. Option C, actual notice. Option D, a quitclaim deed. The correct answer is option B, general warranty deed. The covenants can support a claim if a covered title defect later appears. The grantor provides extensive assurances about ownership and the right to convey. The deed does not ensure physical condition or guarantee future value. Question 18. An exam scenario presents a physical intrusion of an improvement across a boundary line. Which answer is most accurate in the due-diligence meeting described? Option A, deed restriction. Option B, building code. Option C, encroachment. Option D, license. The correct answer is option C, encroachment. Fences, buildings, and driveways can create this problem when they extend onto neighboring land. Possible remedies include removal, an agreement, an easement, or litigation. A survey may reveal the condition before purchase or financing. Stressed about your real estate? We can take real estate for you remotely and undetected. We always guarantee a pass and payments only after results. To send us an email, scan the code or tap the link in the description and let's get it done. Question 19. A licensee preparing for an inspection period must recognize an agreement among competitors to divide customers, territories, or property types. Which concept does this describe? Option A, group boycott. Option B, redlining. Option C, asbestos. Option D, market allocation. The correct answer is option D, market allocation. Independent strategic focus is lawful when it is not based on an agreement. The arrangement reduces competition by assigning business rather than competing for it. Competitors cannot promise to stay out of one another's areas or specialties. Question 20. Which answer correctly classifies a situation involving a change in a housing rule or service needed for a person with a disability to have equal use and enjoyment? Option A, reasonable accommodation. Option B, constructive notice. Option C, material defect disclosure. Option D, general warranty deed. The correct answer is option A, reasonable accommodation. A housing provider may request limited information when the need is not obvious. Approval is required unless the request creates an undue burden or fundamental alteration. The request concerns policy or procedure rather than a structural change. Question 21. At a buyer consultation in Detroit, Samuel explains government control over dividing land into lots and providing streets, utilities, and infrastructure. Which real estate principle is involved? Option A, license. Option B, subdivision regulation. Option C, variance. Option D, escheat. The correct answer is option B, subdivision regulation. The rules operate alongside zoning rather than replacing it. A recorded plat often results after the review process is completed. Approval helps ensure that newly created parcels meet access, drainage, and public improvement standards. Question 22. A transaction file for a subdivision lot raises an issue involving an investigation used to identify potential environmental contamination or recognized conditions. Which answer best resolves the classification? Option A, CERCLA. Option B, title insurance. Option C, environmental site assessment. Option D, group boycott. The correct answer is option C, environmental site assessment. The scope can include records review, site inspection, and interviews. A standard initial assessment does not necessarily include sampling or guarantee that no contamination exists. Commercial purchasers and lenders use the process for risk management and due diligence. Question 23. Which concept should a closing agent apply to facts involving an agreement among competitors to establish or stabilize prices or commission terms? Option A, lead-based paint disclosure. Option B, asbestos. Option C, reasonable modification. Option D, price fixing. The correct answer is option D, price fixing. The agreement can be unlawful even when the chosen rate appears reasonable. Each brokerage must make independent pricing decisions. Informal conversations or coordinated minimum fees can create serious risk. Question 24. Leah is studying a rule concerning recorded notice that litigation may affect title to identified real property. Which term should be chosen? Option A, lease pendens. Option B, buffer zone. Option C, easement in gross. Option D, easement by prescription. The correct answer is option A, lease pendens. The notice warns purchasers and lenders that the lawsuit can determine property rights. It does not itself decide who will win the litigation. A later transferee generally takes subject to the outcome of the pending case. Question 25. When a condominium unit transaction involves a private limitation placed in a deed or recorded declaration that controls property use, which answer identifies the controlling concept? Option A, a specific lien. Option B, deed restriction. Option C, easement appurtenant. Option D, eminent domain. The correct answer is option B, deed restriction. A use may comply with zoning yet still violate a stricter private restriction. The restriction binds property through private agreement rather than direct government regulation. Enforcement normally belongs to parties who benefit from the covenant.